As Sharia-compliant products take root in Kenya, one bank has been at the forefront in guaranteeing the growth of Islamic banking and ensuring its clients get financial services that are in line with ethical standards.
A brief history of Gulf African Bank. This bank was licensed in 2007 by the Central Bank of Kenya. It started its operations in 2008. It's the brainchild of our founding chairman, Mr. Suleiman Shahbal, who came up with this idea, and he mobilized a few investors to come together and put in a capital to start Islamic banking in Kenya.
Gulf African Bank has operated in Kenya for close to a decade, writing a new page in the history of financial services in the country.
When we entered this market, there were already about 43 other banks that were in existence and operating in Kenya. So it was an overcrowded market. So we had to come with a value proposition to the citizens of this country, and particularly the Muslim community who have not had a bank that was offering services and products that conform with their faith. So the value proposition we came up with was that Sharia banking in this industry, the Kenyan market. And market accepted it very well, despite the challenges and the competition that is there with 43 other banks. The bank managed to break even in the first 2.5 years. And since then, we have never looked back.
Islamic banking follows the teachings of the Holy Quran and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which govern how people should conduct their businesses and lend money among themselves. It is a concept that has existed for close to 1,500 years after introduction of Islam to the world.
The concept of Sharia banking or Islamic banking, the main concept of it is ethical banking, as we call it, and fairness. When you offer a service, it has to be fair to the bank and to the customer at the same time. So that is the main theme of Islamic banking, if you like.
As a leading Sharia-compliant bank in Kenya, Gulf African Bank conducts normal banking services, observing both the regulations set by the government through the Central Bank of Kenya and, most importantly, the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The products that we offer are similar to the ones that are offered by other conventional banks, but the process that we follow is what makes it Sharia compliant. There are so many things that you can find out there that are similar, whether you are doing it conventionally or Islamically, but the process that you follow. Take an example of eating meat that was either slaughtered or strangled. The end result is the same. You will have the same chicken, probably the taste will taste the same, but one you followed the process, the other one you didn't follow the process. One is lawful, one is not lawful. So basically those are the main principles of Islam, to follow a process that is acceptable to the Sharia and to be fair between the bank and the customer that you are dealing with.
Islamic banking aims to safeguard both the needs of the customers as well as the lender through a system that favors neither but is benchmarked to guarantee no one is taken advantage of.
Conventional banks would charge interest rate for their loans. The interest rate usually is fixed by the bank, and the bank is at liberty to change that interest rate at any time they want. That's where Sharia now doesn't approve. First of all, interest rate is not allowed, so you have to work it out in a way that it is a trade transaction or a partnership. Either I'm selling the product or I'm in partnership with the client. Two is, if I am going to change, mine will be more of a profit or rent that I charge. So if I want to change that rent, there has to be a benchmark between me and the customer to look at, and that benchmark neither us as a bank or the customer should have influence on. And those things have to be known from the beginning, so that throughout the loan period, you know that this is how much I can pay, and if I'm going to pay less or more, it will be benchmarked against something that neither the client or the bank can influence that rate.
The bank offers a variety of Islamic modes of financing, the most common one being the murahaba.
Murabaha is a trade-based transaction. Murabaha is when you as a customer can come and tell me, I want to buy a car. The owner is selling it on cash basis, but I want to pay it on installment of a period of 1 or 2 years. Instead of me lending you the money and asking you to pay me with a little bit extra after 2 years, I will tell you, no, you have identified the car, this is the car you want, I'll buy it for you. I'll buy it for the bank and sell it to you with a markup. Now that markup is known from the very beginning. So you have no, there will not be any changes in between now and the time you pay. The difference here we have made is we paid cash and we are selling it on deferred basis, so we can now add a markup. If I was buying cash and selling cash, I cannot change the pricing, because now that is direct riba. Here it's a trade transaction. I've bought it and I've sold it, and it's a willing seller, willing buyer, because you have agreed to buy at that markup price. Now if we agree to pay, you will pay me over a period of 2 years, and every month you will pay me a certain portion of them. Then every month we agree on a certain date that you will be paying me, for example, 20,000 every month until you pay off the car. The pricing, that 20,000 cannot change over the period of 2 years. Unlike with conventional banks, when interest rates go up, they will tell you now your installments are 25,000 and not 20,000 anymore. That one can change. 2, if we agree that you will pay me on the 5th of every month, and then in one particular month you were unable to pay me on the 5th, but you paid me on the 10th, in conventional bank you are charged a penalty. In Sharia banking, you are not allowed to charge more than what is rightfully yours, whether it is paid on time or it is delayed. And this is according to the Quranic verse that says, وَإِن كَانَ ذُو عُسْرَةٍ فَنَظِرَةٌ إِلَى مَيْسَرَةٍ. The person who owes you money, if he is experiencing some difficulty, then فَنَظِرَةٌ إِلَى مَيْسَرَةٍ, you can postpone it to the time when his problems will be relieved. The Sharia believes that if that person could not pay you on the 5th, it means he is going through some stressful financial period, and when you charge him a penalty, you are not helping him, you are actually putting more burden on him.
There are about 10 modes of financing that are generally recognized under Islamic banking, including the musharaka, mudaraba, salam, ijara, istisna, among others.
In terms of products, we offer across the board any product that you can find with any bank, in terms of whether it's trade finance, whether it's bridge finance, whether it's mortgage, auto finance, corporate finance. Any product that is offered out there today, you will find it at Gulf African Bank. There is nothing that we don't offer. It's just that our process is different from theirs because we do it in a manner that is Sharia compliant. We follow a process that has been acceptable in the religion.
Even though the language and the ideas propagated by Sharia compliant requirement originate from Arabic culture, this should not be perceived to mean that people who do not practice Islamic faith are not allowed to get access to Islamic banking services.
Calling it Islamic banking or Sharia banking, I agree with what people are saying, that it creates a perception that this is only a bank for Muslims or the products available are just for Muslims, which is not true. Maybe the other way of calling it would have been ethical banking, whereby we believe in certain ethics that are that conform with the teachings of Islam. But then the challenge here also you would have is that if you call yourself ethical banking, what are others? Okay, it's not fair also to call them unethical or things like that. So that's why we stick to the name Sharia. Okay, it is a banking service that is offered through Sharia tenets of Islam. By all means, it is not a product just for Muslims, or it is available to anybody. I have said before that we are not selling faith. We are selling a financial product that we find ourselves to be very ethical and to be very fair to the general public.
Gulf African Bank's success has been its timely availability to a number of different types of clients in Kenya, some of whom were more than happy to be associated with the bank.
You see, the community here, I will tell you, it's divided into 3 categories. There was one that was waiting for any Islamic bank to come so that they can adopt, because they believed in it from the very beginning. It's just that there was none in the market and they couldn't. And because of the nature of their business, they have to use banks. So those ones, immediately we came into the market, they came on board and they started dealing with us. There is another group that says, okay, fine, this is Islamic bank, but me, I have been with my bank for the last 15 years, for the last 20 years. Maybe he even inherited the account from his parents. And he says, we have always been with this bank and we don't see, you see. So as much as we understand you are an Islamic bank, we need something more. We need an incentive. What more can you offer us? You know, those guys are now giving us this because they know us better. We have been dealing with them for so many years. Okay, so apart from the Sharia element, they need something more. Okay, that's the second category. And then the third category, which is even more dangerous, is the one that does not believe in Islamic banking. They don't think that there is anything about Islamic banking.
With the acceptance by the community, Gulf African Bank has been able to climb the ranks of success as it wins both the hearts and minds of Kenyans.
In general, I think the community has accepted us very well. Okay, the bank, within a short period of time, as I said, when we started, we were number 43. Out of the 46 banks that we have today, you can imagine we are now ranked number 21. So we have even surpassed banks that have been around for more than 50 years in this market. Okay, that shows the acceptance that we have had. Okay, and we are now expanding. We are now reaching out to our customers in different areas of Kenya. We have already opened 15 branches. We have very ambitious growth plan. In the next 2 years, in fact, we are looking to open 5 branches this year alone. We are looking to open 5 more branches next year. So we did 15 branches in 10 years, but we want to do 10 branches in 2 years.
The bank has recognized the potential for stronger growth is in reaching out to the wider Muslim population and tailoring services that best suit the need of the community.
I'll give you an example. You see, Kenya during the 2009 census, the Muslim population in Kenya was given as 10%. Now, if you take our population being 44 million, 10% of that is about 4.4 million Muslims. And if you conservatively say that out of that 4.4 million Muslims, only 20% are bankable, okay, that gives you a number of what, almost 1 million people that potentially can be your customers. And that is a very conservative number. Today, if you look, because there are 2 fully fledged Islamic banks in Kenya, if you take our customer base combined between the 2 of us, we don't get to even 150,000. Now, there are 2 things we can look at that. One is maybe we have not done enough to capture what is rightfully ours. Or it also, you can look at it this way, that how much potential is there for these banks to grow. If I can have just another 200,000-300,000 customers today, probably I will not even be able to serve them in the current infrastructure. But it's a good problem to have at that time. And this is where now we're trying to do. What we're trying to do now is now to go to other areas, because you see our presence mainly has been in Mombasa, Malindi, Lamu, Garissa, Nairobi, and you see we, out of the 47 counties, we only represented in 5. We want to increase our footprint in all these areas so that we can first capture our markets, what we believe is ours, rightfully ours. And then we also want to tell others, like, look, we are not just a bank for Muslims. We are offering this product across the board, regardless of people's faith. And that is also already represented even in our workforce. We have a sizable number of people who belong to different other faiths other than Muslim, including senior management team. Okay, so we are telling people that, look, it's just a financial service that we are offering. It has nothing to do, but the concept follows the Sharia, that's all.
Already, the bank has come up with ways to ensure women are served in the best way possible.
We have a special product for women in the society because mostly they are the ones who are affected with this. We will eventually go to the other sector that you just mentioned, but women are the ones we have targeted so much in terms of empowering for them to become entrepreneurs, for them to become successful, for them to access credit from banks which they would not have received under normal circumstances. Okay. Today we have 2 dedicated branches in Mombasa and Nairobi, 1 each, which cater only for women. Our staff in there are women, the security guards are women, the cleaners inside are women, and the customers are women. So it is an environment where they feel so free among themselves. They go there, get proper advice about entrepreneurship, about products that they can access from Gulf African Bank, in the freedom of that environment. And we have come up with so many ideas for them to, some of these are very risky for the bank. But we say if nobody takes that risk, then nobody will help that group of the population and the society that we have. That is the first step that we have taken. Also, what we have in compliance also with the Sharia, in all our branches we have dedicated teller cubicles for our women customers so that they don't have to mix up and queue together with men in front of men or behind a man like that. So we take into consideration such things, but empowering women. And we have partnered with huge organizations, including some UN bodies, including the International Finance Corporation, IFC, which is an investment arm of the World Bank, okay, among other societies that just to empower women. That is the sector we have concentrated on now, but eventually we will also go to the youth whom we think need to be empowered and make them self-reliance in the future.
Another value that Gulf African Bank has added to its services is the use of innovative technology that has made life simpler for its customers and saved them time.
We are in line with the market growth, particularly the usage of technology today, as you can imagine. We are now offering, apart from the normal ATM services, point of sales services, we have now moved also to internet banking, where even customers who are abroad or within Kenya can transact in the comfort of their own homes or wherever they are. We have now also introduced mobile banking, whereby you can almost do all transactions that you want to do without even visiting a branch. So all these are already in place. And we are also planning to digitize the whole platform. We want to go digital in the next 1 or 2 years to make it easy for our customers how to access these services with us, including loan origination applications for somebody can start it from the comfort of their homes to ask for a facility without having to visit the branch. You maybe visit the branch at the final level when now you are required to present some documents and signatures and all that. But those are the trends that we are moving towards. The whole idea, what we have in mind is how to make it easy for our customers to transact with us.
There are plans to expand the bank to other regions in East Africa to benefit the residents of the region.
We are looking at our neighboring countries, Tanzania and Uganda. Hopefully we will also be moving to those. We have not put a time frame yet, but those are our next frontiers.
With the government's announcement that it is looking for ways to introduce Islamic sukuk, a form of Sharia-compliant bonds in Kenya, the future of Sharia-compliant products and services couldn't be any brighter. Reporting for Islamia TV, I'm Iddi Musyemi.